What's up, fam? I just kind of wanted to jump up on here really quickly as things kind of subside and slow down a bit. We just got in and we are getting ready to park our car. But really quickly before we go ahead and do all of that, I wanted to jump up on here really quickly with y'all because I believe that I found, I don't know what I did, what I said, how it happened, but for whatever reason, I encountered the demon that is responsible for suicide and severe depression. Like, I'm talking about when you are at that breaking point, okay? First of all, my husband and I have been married for 16 and a half years, even after all of my challenges that I've faced. That's number one and the most critical. As of recently, we just started getting at each other, fighting constantly, for absolutely no reason at all. There's virtually no explanation for it. It was just one to the other, and it was constant. And like I said, there was no explanation for it. We had no reason to be fighting or questioning at all. But let me tell you guys something. I believe I encountered the demon that is responsible for suicide. I don't know what I said, what I did, what happened. But I will tell you this, that this demon is insanely powerful. And a lot of times when you encounter this specific demon of suicide, it likes to get you alone. So it doesn't matter if you downstairs, upstairs, in your room, at work. You can be wherever and it will just hit you out of nowhere. Okay? This demon likes to get their victims when they are physically alone. Because at that point, it is stupidly easy to possess you physically. And I also believe that a lot of the deaths that are happening, among families and things like that, this demon is also very largely responsible for that. Because it takes physical possession of its host. Thus, if that person is not planted in their faith, it is immensely easy for them to take advantage of that. And if you are not a person of faith, this demon will take advantage of you, and you will do things and say things that you have never said before in your life. Okay? And like I said, I don't know what I did, said, or listened to. Also, Netflix, any movies really that are generally from Hollywood. Some of these movies, y'all, they do have spells and witchcraft in them. And so I had recently watched The Conjuring, as I'm a paranormal investigator myself. So that is also kind of one of the secondary components as to how I know so much that it was a demon that was trying to disturb my peace. But I only watched The Conjuring, the second one, and it seemed like from that point forward, my husband and I just were having these pointless arguments for nothing. Literally nothing. Questioning, doubting, the whole nine, y'all. But this demon is very powerful. Like, so powerful that it can try to physically make you stand up. That is how powerful it is. So check this out. Like I said, that's the only thing that I did. That's the only explanation logically that I can think of, because I watched the second Conjuring. And from that point forward, it was just like this with my husband. And virtually no reason. And basically, I have reason to believe it came from this movie. And I will tell you, I have seen so much death in Las Vegas recently. It's ridiculous. But there are so many different factors. There's vehicle collisions and crashes. There's been a handful of shootings here, because people are honking at each other. People got road rage. I think this toxic shit shop has a lot to do with it. But The biggest and most critical one, y'all, is if you are not a person of faith, it is stupidly easy for this demon to take physical possession of you. And like I said, I honestly, I don't know what I did to encounter this thing, but I will tell you, this was only about 2 days ago that I was so disturbed I couldn't sleep. I would lay in bed for about 5 minutes only, with my family, try to go to bed like usual. I just couldn't. I was just up and down, up and down. At one point, I remember even looking out of the window, but there was no reason for me to be looking out of the window. And, at one point, I guess you could say my rage just took over me, and I had gone downstairs. It was exactly 3 o'clock in the morning when this happened, which for those of you who know, and for those of you who also study the paranormal, who are also fellow investigators, y'all know that that's the time when all these entities come out, because they like to take advantage of people when they are asleep. There's demons of depression, demon of rage, demon of suicide. There's demons that disturb you in your sleep. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. And so if you are not planted in your faith, these things can destroy you. And like I said, I came downstairs. I was sitting on my couch. This thing wanted me and was physically trying to take advantage of me. I could feel like what had felt like something getting into my body. And I could feel the difference, because you got to realize, when you are a child of God, when things like this happen, you instantaneously know. Because the sensation and the feelings that you get are so crazily different. I instantly knew that this thing was trying to possess me. And at one point, my kitchen lights were off. I only had the light on just in general where I was seated. And that didn't even make a difference, because that's how powerful this entity was and is. It was trying to take advantage of me, but because I rejected it, because I'm a strong woman in my faith, that is how I stepped out of it. And for the past day or so, I've been doing my Bible studies, really kind of gearing up and getting close to God. Asking for forgiveness for my lack of understanding, for not foreseeing these circumstances, but asking Him to bless my family nonetheless. Okay? And this thing just wanted me to do some downright evil shit. I'm not going to go into full details. I'm not going to say particularly what happened. But at one point, I was just so overcome. And I felt really compromised. But I somehow knew amidst all of that, I had to stay close to God, even when it was the most physically painful, because that was going to be my only way out. And I just felt like I was being physically ripped into 2 pieces, because evil does not like good. Positive versus negative. It's just a law of science. Jeez. I'll just say it's some evil, dark stuff that was going to happen. But God got me through it. Okay, I just can remember, oh my God, my family, at one point I got this image of the devastation that it would cause. And I just said, like, oh my God, please just get me out of this. Those were my exact words. And look, I'm here today. And I'm giving you guys this testimony because a lot of you are not spiritual. It doesn't matter what your background is, who you are, where you came from. The thing is, if you ask for forgiveness and you correct your mistakes, that is what makes the ultimate difference. Because when you ask for forgiveness of your wrongdoing, that's when true change and positivity can come into your life. You see it, even amidst being overcome by this entity, I was able to stand planted in my faith. And I believe ultimately that's what saved my life. I'm not going to go into full details because that's personal, but I will tell you this. If I hadn't been a strong woman in my faith, I would have succumbed to this demon. And my husband, as late as it was 3 o'clock in the morning, still came downstairs. He knew I was in deep trouble. And I just was so overcome, so compromised. I just didn't know what to do. And all I could do was to pray and to just get these entities and things away from me. So when you hear these things in the fake news talking about, oh, a father killed their 5-year-old, or a 5-year-old was left in a vehicle in a hot car, I believe that those people are being overcome by the same demon, and that demon is largely responsible for these fatalities. Now, like I said before, all I had done was to watch The Conjuring, the second one, and ever since that time, it had just been this ongoing.
I got a rash because I drew too much. I mean, Emma keep blowing on the rash, but it got because me and Emma wipe it real fast, and we put coconut oil, but it started getting bigger, so I need let that dry.
But go inside.
Let dry. Let that dry. Let that dry.
Oh gosh, she's so disruptive. But let me conclude this vlog, guys, by telling you Let me conclude this vlog by telling you guys that this demon does look for people to take control over. It needs a host to manifest. And a lot of you parents out there who are not strong in your faith are 10 times more likely to get taken advantage by this entity. And the thing about it is that you have to be strong in your faith, even if this thing is attacking you. You ask for forgiveness. You make it clear. And believe me, God never fails. And He always comes through. Even the most powerful demon couldn't take me over. But that's because I'm a woman of faith. Because I know where I stand. Because I was found and made new in His image. And a lot of you guys, oh my God, you guys haven't had that guidance. A lot of you are just finding out who you are. And as you can tell, we're running out of time. So this vlog is not to scare you guys, to put anxiety in you guys. I'm nearly giving you my testimony so you can see that even the strongest of demons cannot overcome you if you are strong in your faith. But again, I believe that this is the same entity and demon that is responsible for taking control over a lot of these parents, and that's why they're hurting their children. I also believe that that same entity is the one that is possessing a lot of people, and those are the very people who are doing these atrocious things. So please, love yourselves and love your children enough to stand firm in your faith, and understand that the people of the world and the people of faith are two different worlds completely. It's something out of this world, I'm telling you. And if you think that demons are not real, you can use this testimony. And keep in mind, I am a paranormal investigator myself, so I do know. And that's how I knew what was going on and what was happening to me. So please, at the end of the day, I don't care if you had a hard day at school, at work, at the hospital, at the clinic, whatever your story is. Don't come home and fight with your husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, siblings, parents, whatever. Make amends to keep that peace in the home, because these demons will use anything and everything to take advantage of the situation. And remember, keep yourself planted in your faith and you'll be fine. But for those of you who are barely coming to understand who you are, take haste to my words and ask for forgiveness, because we are running really quickly out of time. You understand?